How's it going, guys? DuoFace here, and welcome back to the new series, Detail Dive. So today we're going to be continuing where we left off. I should be able to do 10 stages this time instead of just a measly 7. So let's start by checking out the Super Happy Tree. So this is the Super Happy Tree map. Again, this has a lot of flat things, like the clouds and the sprites. One thing that I found interesting about this map is that it's actually way smaller than it looks. If you compare the details, there's not really... It doesn't seem, anyway, that there's too much distance between you and those walls. Oh, and those shy guys in the distance, yeah, those are just sprites. And as for the Happy Tree itself, yes, that's also just a sprite. Basically, everything in here is a sprite, apart from these little polygon cardboard things. But I say it still does have its style. So anyways, let's move on to the next map in our list. So here we are at the Wispy Woods map. Now this is another one of those odd ones where the background does seem to be a bit of a PNG, but it also does seem to move upon me rotating it. Although as for the tree itself, although its facial features do appear to be sprites, the actual tree is a fully rendered 3D object. Although basically everything that's detailed about it is a sprite. In fact, those stars will follow you around everywhere you go. They will constantly face you, and there's nothing you can do about it. As for the background, yeah, it's just that down there. There's also one of the chance. Oh yeah, look, all of the sprites seem to follow you around to give the illusion of 3D, which is a really cool feature. Apart from Wispy Woods himself, though, he just seems to flatten out a bit. Although I'm pretty sure there is one more thing to the stage that I'll show you momentarily. So here's a thing I'm talking about. These things are a part of the map. However, they also seem to be sprites. However, they follow your camera movement. So they will always be facing you like the others, and they'll slowly transition across the stage. So, yeah. Oh, and it also seems that the Smash Ball is doing it in this map. In fact, does it always do that? Anyways, let's move on to the next map. So here is Saffron City. So I decided to pause it at a point. Oh yeah, the background is 3D this time, but it's still quite PNG style. However, the buildings are all seemingly pretty rendered, although they are still not as well, like pretty flat as well. So first thing to note, despite the fact that, look, the gotta catch 'em all thing, no, never mind, that is 3D. However, those butterflies aren't? No, those aren't butterflies, that's a Pokemon. Well, I know they are. So the weird thing is, even though those are sprites, you can tell. But out of all of the ones that seem to follow your movements, it seems to be the Pokemon that come out of here. Now I'll test it as well with a different Pokemon, and I'll show you the results. There also seems to be this really odd area behind the Pokemon. It seems interesting. And interestingly enough, the thing that probably has the higher polygon count are the actual floating platforms due to their spikes. So I'm going to show you another example with a different Pokemon, so you can actually tell, to see if this truly is the case with all of them. So, we are back at Saffron, and, oh, it's not the same for all of them. So, as you can see here, this one doesn't follow us around while the Bulbasaur does. Now, I'm not going to test it for all the Pokemon. If you're truly curious, I won't leave any spoilers, and you can do, the rest it. When you get the game, if you're gonna get it. If not, then sorry, but you'll have to look at it from someone else. So, yeah, this was Saffron City. Let's move on to the next map. Oh, and just as a double check, yes, the Chansey also follows you around. Why do these Pokemon, and it's not even, vertically either, they just look at you. Menacingly, but apparently the Voltorb doesn't. Oh, and that egg, it also follows you around. The one that's currently penetrating Lucas's skull. Except this one follows you vertically, while the Pokemon itself doesn't. Anyways, let's actually move on to the next one. I'm getting tired of Saffron. Next up is the Mushroom Kingdom map. I heard there was something pretty weird on this one, so let's get right into it. So this is the Mushroom Kingdom map, and it seems that the background is sort of layered. As you can tell, the hills are different to the mushroom platforms with the enemies on it, which are different to the other backgrounds, which are different to these. So you can really sort of look at things from different perspectives and stuff, and it's really cool. However, if you've seen anything that's popular, like, on relating to this map and its out-of-bounds stuff, you know that I'm currently ignoring quite the elephant in the room. Now, you may not know this, but for some reason, there are black walls with an X on them. Like, it's sort of hard to see with these controls. Let me just zoom out. So, there are just black walls with X's on them which show the death plane. They are on both sides of this map, and they're basically the only one that have them. The rest of the map is kind of like the usual, normal, sort of cool stuff, except basically none of it follows you around, mainly because the camera's probably going to stay static most of the time. And it's nice to kind of see that it is, like, layered instead of being utterly flat, but what are these? And look, the map just completely cuts off after that. Oh, and the background does seem to be 3D, because I can see some of it going along behind the black barriers, but just why are these here? Were they there in Melee and it's a cute reference? I guess we'll never know. Anyways, let's get back into it with the next map. Next up is Princess Peach's Castle. Let's do it! So, here's the map. So, if we take a look around, this isn't actually hiding as much off-bound secrets as you'd think it is compared to others. Because right outside of this, like, you know, the normal little mountainous area, and this, it's sort of, the trees completely thin out and it just becomes a bit of a landscape. Although you could argue that this is just at the edge of, like, you know, just the edge of a island. But the interesting thing is we can actually, wait, I think we can clip into Peach's Castle if we try hard enough. No, we can't. So, can we zoom in and clip into the castle? So, as you can see, from the inside of the castle, you get a pretty spectacular view of the really intricate landscapes that were designed. And this is what a bullet bill looks like when it is tunneling into the castle. It just sort of is slowly going in, and occasionally doing, like, the odd particle effect to make it look natural. However, if we were to go and look down here, it shows us the texture that is under the water in the castle. So if you've ever wondered, hey, in the Princess Peach's Castle map, what is underneath the water? Well, it's just odd texture, and you can even see that this island has been fully rendered underneath and everything. So yeah, this is quite an odd one, especially since it's the first one where I've had to clip through the floor. So anyways, let's move on to the next map. So sorry guys, but due to constraints, we actually can't do more this episode, which is a bit of which is a bit weird, because now there's only going to be 5 stages in an episode that was meant for 10. I would label it 1.5 like I always do with my, like, shorter episodes, but episode 1 was no different. It was only 7 of the stages, so hopefully in part 3 I can do 10. This will probably be a 12-part series now, or even 13 at this rate, so it doesn't matter. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far. I'm going to be scouring every map that I can to see if I can find any sort of, like, cool unseen detail, like we did with Final Destination and stuff. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. You can leave now.